Hey guys, Mr. Beast here talking about Algebra 2, Section 1.2. We're going to be simplifying expressions. Some of you've probably done in Algebra 1 a bunch. There's a difference between expressions and equations, and the main thing is the equal sign. With expressions, you have to be able to simplify them or maybe evaluate them. If you're given a number, you can plug it in, whereas equations you solve. We're going to be focused on this side of it today for this lesson, expressions. We'll talk about equations in the future. One thing we do oftentimes with expressions is substitution. So we'll put a number in. So we're essentially going to take this value and put it in every time we see an x. So we kind of show it here. And at this point, you just use order of operations. We're going to square that 4 first, do exponents before we do multiplication. Do that all, add it up, and you kind of get your thing. So substitution is where something takes the place of something else. Another thing that we do here is combining like terms. Probably a familiar thing here, but like terms are defined as something with an identical variable structure. So if you see an example like this, just because they all have an x doesn't mean they're all like terms. These x squared pieces are considered like terms, and then the x pieces are also considered like terms. So as we join these together, the 15 and the -3 go up to make -12x squared, while the 7 and the 14x go to make 21x. There's other ways to do these kind of ones. When you see something like this, again, we're looking for an identical variable structure. So we're looking for things that are the same. So this 4xy term and this 7xy term would combine, whereas the y squared and the x squared terms can't because they're different from each other. So this is the only simplification we could do here. So combining like terms is just simplifying. One little trick being able to evaluate squares is the difference between these two. One's positive and one's negative. Turns out that the one on the right is positive and one on the left is negative, and that's because what squaring actually is doing. On the left, we're actually squaring 6, so we're doing 6 times 6. And then we're going to make that result negative. On the one on the right, we're actually doing -6 times -6, which gives you a positive 36 for the number. When we evaluate expression, we're going to use PEMDAS, order of operations. So we kind of go through parentheses first. At the absolute value here counts as parentheses. So we kind of do that all through. And at this point, we go to exponents. There is no exponent, so we keep going down the list. We do our multiplication and division together. So we see the multiplication and division. We kind of do those as we go. 7 is 14 divided by 2, and 18 is 6 times 3. And then finally, we'll go through and do our addition and subtraction. When we do our addition and subtraction, we go left to right. So whatever's on the left, so 7 minus 18 first, and then we'll add 5 to that. That pretty much brings it to a close here. Here are the things you need to do. Thanks for listening to this lesson. Appreciate it.